Hi there, I'm Zach Kircher, and you're watching Kircher Talks Entertainment. So I am here for another quick video in which I talk about gaming news. This time I want to talk about the fact that recently, Valve, pretty much out of nowhere, announced new gaming hardware set to launch in early 2026. And sure, they showed off a really cool looking controller as well as their new version of their VR headset known as the Steam Frame, but boy, there's a lot to talk about regarding one very specific piece of hardware, that being the Steam Machine. Now, this is a topic that I wanted to talk about sooner, but the timing of the announcement wasn't great since it came about literally like a day or two before I was already planning on going on a work trip. I wanted to focus on the stuff that was most important first, get all that stuff out of the way, and then focus on my creative side, which now I'm here. Let's talk about the Steam Machine. So, what is the Steam Machine? I mean, in basic terms, it's a computer. That's it. The device is basically the result of taking a Nintendo GameCube, spray painting it black, and then turning it into a computer that's running Steam OS, the same operating system that the Steam Deck as well as Steam's Big Picture mode on standard PCs use. This thing is also small, with it essentially being 6 inches in height, length, and width. Now, I'm not really a computer expert, so I can't comment that much on how good or bad some of the specs of this thing are, but from what I understand about it, the Steam Machine is supposed to be comparable to modern console hardware like the PS5 and the Xbox Series consoles, and maybe like mid-range gaming computers, stuff that you could find for probably less than $1,000, or maybe around that much. Now, I say all of that, we don't know the price point as of yet, but if I was to venture a guess, it'll definitely be more expensive than hardware like the PS5 and the Xbox Series consoles like I had said, but cheaper than normal PCs that you might find at Best Buy or other big box stores. Don't quote me on that, that's just a guess at this point, especially for all that Valve representatives have said in various interviews. Needless to say, the fact is that it'll be available early 2026, which probably means the first quarter of the year, so maybe like February, March, something like that. Now, why am I excited about it? Well, two main reasons. One, it just looks cool, and the other one is that I think it'll provide a lot of value to gamers, at least I'm assuming it will. I'll touch on both of those points, in which I will first talk about the fact that it just looks cool. What can I say? I'm a sucker for my tech to look both black and geometric, and the Steam Machine is a black cube, so it already has that going for it. The size and the form factor here are what really matter to me. I own games on Steam so that my wife and I can enjoy both of them, but it's annoying having to lug my laptop back and forth between our bedroom and the living room, where our TV is at. It honestly kind of depends on where we want to be and how we want to wind down after a long day of work and, taking care of our kids. So I recognize that if I wanted to do that, I'd still have to with the Steam Machine, but at least it'd be a little bit easier due to its compact size and the light weight that comes along with it. Given its small form factor, it's not going to be bulky to have to lug around at least, and so it'll be a little bit easier to have to move from the TV in one room versus the other. Now, I don't want my laziness to be the primary reason why I'm excited for this thing. I just thought it'd be worth pointing out. I mean, what can I say? It just looks really cool. It's simple, it's practical, and the fact that you can also get like these customizable faceplates that are very easy to swap out is a nice little touch too. But yes, the real reason that I'm excited for this thing is the value that I perceive it's going to provide people. Now, in the time that has passed since I originally planned on making this video, there has been some controversy around its possible price, which, like I said, it's probably going to be in the high hundreds since it's expected to be priced like a PC because it is one. I can't blame people for feeling like the price of the Steam Machine is going to make or break whether they want to buy the thing. Back in April, I posted a video criticizing Nintendo for how they priced the Switch 2, and I still haven't bought it to this day. Here's the thing though. I was upset about the Switch 2's price more for the fact that it made these iterative improvements from the original Switch to the Switch 2, and it didn't really seem like that was that much that changed. But it was a 50% jump in price. But along with that, Nintendo has made a lot of anti-consumer choices, over the past several years that have built up over and over to where I'm just kind of sick of them now. But Valve with Steam, on the other hand, these guys have earned my trust as a consumer for being the most pro-consumer company out of every major player in the gaming industry. And yes, that does mean that we'll probably have to pay a heftier price up front for the Steam machine compared to other consoles like the PS5, the Xbox, and heck, even the Switch 2. But the great thing is that it will offer greater long-term value to the consumer. Consider these points. For one thing, online multiplayer through Steam has been and always will be free. So you're saving that much money every year, by not buying, PlayStation Plus every month, which is at minimum $10 a month. Or you have Game Pass, which, there's been that whole controversy recently where Microsoft jacked up the prices for that service. And then even Nintendo Switch Online, which is $50 a year if you want to get like the added benefit of the Nintendo 64 and GameCube games. And so when you consider Steam OS, which, like I said, is the operating system that the Steam Deck and Big Picture Mode are based on, it's already built from the ground up to support a wide range of third-party controllers. So even though Valve is certainly releasing its own controller called, appropriately, the Steam controller, if you already have controllers for Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, or other kinds of like third-party USB or Bluetooth controllers, they are going to work with the thing. And so that's another way to save money in the sense that, like, if you already have all of this equipment, you don't have to upgrade all of that. You just keep it and it's still usable. And on top of that, people may not realize that there are a lot of good-hearted gamers out there who have mapped up control schemes that work for different controllers on certain games. And so you can use those as a way to use controllers that might not be like compatible with the games you want to play, but will still work perfectly fine. Steam also has a reputation for being one of the most user-friendly, and I should say wallet-friendly digital storefronts on the market. I mean, have you seen a Steam sale? I mean, there are often times that games will go on sale for 75-90% off even, depending on what kind of game it is, but you could have a game on your wish list for months and months, and then suddenly a sale drops to where it goes from like $60 down to $10, and you're like, oh, cool, that's obviously, I'm gonna pick that up. Other aspects of Steam are the fact that Valve has designed Steam to be so user-friendly that online multiplayer, buying games, modding, and community engagement, it's all seamlessly integrated into one place to where you don't have to jump through a lot of hoops to really do what you want as a gamer. The nice thing is that unlike other hardware that requires you to use one storefront, whether it be the PlayStation Store or the eShop or the Microsoft Store, you obviously have Steam on the Steam machine, but if you want, you can load up other storefronts if you so choose, like GOG, which is a bunch of DRM-free hardware, or Humble Bundle, where you can go on there and you purchase like a pack of games that can be redeemed on Steam. Now I say all of that, and the one main advantage that console gaming has always had over PC gaming is the fact that it requires a lot less guesswork and trial and error to get certain games to work. I'm here wearing a shirt that rips something from Fallout New Vegas, and getting that game to work on my laptop was a real pain, I tell you. But with all of the work that Valve has put into making Windows-based games work with the Linux-based Proton software that Valve has created, it will hopefully make it easier for more casual gamers to get into PC gaming, to where if they have the Steam machine, they could just load up a game like they would any other console, but they have a lot more control over what they want to do with it, and they have a lot more opportunities to have fun and try new things. Now, I say all of that, but you might be sitting here and wondering, like, is the Steam machine even going to be worth it in the end? Honestly, despite all that I've said, it's hard to say how much, this would really catch on with most gamers, because regular consoles easily sell because it's easy to just pick up a PS5, plug it in, sign into PlayStation Plus, and get going. Whereas PC gaming is more for the hardcore gaming crowd, who are going to put a lot more money and time into building, a powerful rig, getting their games to work, and researching how to do things like mods and, customizing their visuals and all those things. I mean, if I'm being perfectly honest, I don't even know if I would buy this outright when it launches, especially since I still get a lot of use out of my PS5, as well as the Acer Nitro 3 laptop that I'm, making this very video on, and so I don't exactly have the need right at this moment to ostensibly just have another PC in my house. However, I am excited still about the prospect of this thing because it will hopefully be an affordable, relatively so, an easy to use entry point into PC gaming for people who simply can't afford the time and the money to get into some kind of fancier pre-built or some other kind of rig that they build themselves. And, of course, since the Steam Machine is going to be a highly customizable and open source PC, people who really know their way around computers could potentially get a lot more use out of it than, someone who's just in it for the video games themselves. And this might be wishful thinking, but if the Steam Machine catches on in the same way that the Steam Deck does and opens up a whole new market of handheld PCs that are competing against Nintendo and the Switch, I'm hoping that in this same way, it can provide another source of competition against Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft to where they then need to step it up with the hardware they're providing, but also realize that we're sick of being nickeled and dimed for everything that we're worth just to enjoy video games. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're talking about competitors, you can't get much better of a competitor than Valve because they of course do what's smart for business, but more importantly, they do what's right by the consumer. Is Valve perfect? Absolutely not. But I have trust that, they're going to release this thing in such a way to where it'll provide a lot of good value to consumers. I'm definitely excited for it. And if this thing proves to be a success and demonstrates that there is a future for this kind of thing where we're kind of blending PC and console gaming together, then I think we'll all be better off for it. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to let me know what you think of the Steam Machine in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please do consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. For doing both of those things really does help my channel grow, and I will see you all in the next one.